Welcome to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. Show number 129, one Catfish Hunter here. And this is a very special show. Why? Because it's 129 getting involved here from downtown Mawa, coming to you behind the glass from downtown Matawan. Your friend and mine, Dave Sturcio of Chop Sports Media, Prime, Streaming, and 8 different companies, and Chris Gucci's friend, Dave Sturcio. Dave, welcome aboard.
How you doing, Jimmy? How's your weekend? How was your Labor Day?
Listen, we're going to get to all that.
All right.
You'll see. We'll get to that. Number one, I was just watching one of those missing persons thing, and then Chris Gucci came up on the TV of the show. I was like, where is Chris Gucci? I actually talked to Chris last week. It was good to chat with him.
Yeah, he told me. He told me. He said he's going to invoice you for
my
he said he's going to invoice you for your time. But yeah.
Every time I talk to someone in the Top Sports, I get invoiced.
Friends no more.
Friends no more. And the Brett Gardner of Chop Sports here at Shea. Well, as you well know, I got a baseball card here, and this might be. I think. Listen, I've been doing this. We've done this. What? I don't know how many. 40 players now. 30 players. I think this is the worst one. This guy. Okay. I got his 1992 card. This guy played with the Cubs a pretty decent amount. And his name is Derek May, 1992 card here.
Okay.
Now, this might be my most boring segment in the history of segments. He played 10 years in the bigs, but he did nothing. He batted 271, which isn't bad. He hit 52 home runs, which that means 5 a year. 310 RBIs. That's like, what is that? That's nothing. He played with 6 teams, 5 with the Cubs, 2 with Houston. Then he played like the Montreal, Philly, Baltimore, Milwaukee. He was a left-hander, played left field. Then he was a pinch hitter, played a couple years in Japan.
Don't they all? All right.
He's the son of Dave May, who played for 12 years. Okay. It's like another guy.
Like, that guy.
Like father, like son. He wasn't that good either, but he played 12 years, right? And I was looking for anything on this guy. Did he like run over a cat? Something like that. You're looking for any kind of storyline to have fun with. His brother is a scout for the Blue Jays. His son's a scout for the Red Sox. He was coaching some like new draft league. MLB has that new draft league. Like where they put guys, it's like a minor league system that's called the draft league or something.
Okay.
He coached there for 1 year. He got let go. But like in 1993, he batted 295, which he'd be making $40 million. He'd be like LeMahieu now. 94, he batted 284. I don't know why this guy stopped playing because he was batting 295, 284, 282. And then he just stayed in the league and he batted like 271.
Seasoned vet.
And that's it. I mean, but I did find out he was the number 1 pick for the Cubs, 9th pick overall, which in baseball, you're a stud if you get picked 9th overall.
I agree.
But it's just, I got nothing on him. Dave May, good looking fella.
Oh, yeah.
Even the back of his card doesn't even have he was born in Rochester, New York. It's like, I got nothing on this guy. He's 55 years old. He's probably a fat bastard now. And that's it. I got, he didn't make the playoffs ever. Anyway, this is in honor of Labor Day. I will belabor Derek May. That's it. That's all I got for Derek May.
All right. I actually have a baseball player for you. This was coming courtesy of Chris Gucci. So he actually
we were going to do so next week. We'll do shitty Cowboy quarterbacks.
Yeah, starting because by then
you had a busy week. I know
there will be a result by then of the Cowboys Giants game, so I can I'll be either really happy while I'm talking to you or really pissed off. Right. Either way,
and I got a whole segment on Cowboys Giants to talk about later.
Yeah, right. So all right, so I was sent this by Chris Gucci. The name is Ron Karkovic.
Wait, just hang on one second. Those of you who don't know, Chris Gucci is a partner with Dave at Chop Sports, and he's the former co-host of this show back in the early 80s.
Before I was held at gunpoint and against my will to do this show. Ron Karkovic. And this is
I remember him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In that photo, and this is coming from my phone because it's very, very funny. There's a caption under his photo. And just keep in mind that that's him.
Right.
Fine young gentleman right there, right?
Okay, I remember him well.
But it says Ron Karkovic is 23 years old in this picture. 23, and he looks
He looks
no
like he's
younger than
55.
54.
I get it.
He looks a solid 47. He's about to make a pot of Maxwell House, watch a few episodes of Matlock, then head to the Elks Lodge to the all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast afterward. He's going to crawl into his space and check out your ductwork and stare down the dude in the Monte Carlo who turned around in his driveway. So it's a very good description of it.
That's
He was
great.
a catcher. He's a catcher. He's from Union, New Jersey.
He used to kill. Yeah, I totally remember him. He used to kill. I remember him hitting a couple
White
of bombs
Sox through and through
Yankees.
from 86 to 97. So 11 years straight
he
with
played
the White
against
Sox.
the Yankees a lot.
He had a career batting average of 221. He's hit 96 home runs, so he never really hit for power. He has 6 career triples, which is good for a catcher, I think. But anyway, I had to bring this guy up.
That means it hit off the top of the wall and rolled all the way over pursuit by the center fielder. It's going to go all the way back. The right fielder is going to pick up the ball.
So that's my player this week. I figured it's the final baseball player that I'm going to mention for this week.
Okay.
But we'll get into the Yankees and stuff later.
Ron Karkovice and Derek May are our 2 players. And next week, Dave's going to because he knows I don't like the Cowboys, we have to do shitty players from the Cowboys. Tight ends we did pretty well last couple weeks.
We did do.
And now we're going to do shitty quarterbacks of the Cowboys. I can't do it for the Giants because it would be a 7-hour long show because there's so many shitty. But I got some interesting facts on the Cowboy Giants that I don't think you know, but you probably do because you're a jerk off fucking Giant fan, Cowboy fan. Anyway, that's it. Okay, good. Ron Karkovice and Derek May. Even their family members aren't talking about them, but we are here. That's our goal. You know what, Dave? One of the things I think there's a market, especially on social media, to talk about people that no one else is talking about. I mean, we can talk about Donald Trump and Dion and all these great, right? NFL, all that stuff. But no. Let's talk about the least amount of coverage we can get on social media by mentioning guys. Even his wife hasn't talked to him in 3 days. So that's how we do it. But we bring up Derek May and Ron Karkovice here at Shea. We're moving on to other news. First of all, my weight situation. Last week coming in at 214.8, but this morning 212.4. We are
You lost weight after a holiday weekend?
Yes. Now I had a bad day Sunday, not gonna lie to you. Rutgers game, we're gonna get to that in a minute. But I came in, little pickleball, went for some walks, a little hot out, sweating it out a little bit. 212.4. So I'm well on my way to just being fat instead of obese, and that's where I'm at. Which brings us, of course, to our Patreon. Now, we're just mired now. Now, we're like the Yankees right now. Nothing's happening. You win 7 games in a row, you're still 10 games out. We are stuck at 35. Can't believe there's no David Cohn fan. And I'm going to give a shout-out to Dying Breed Garage, Will Pena, and Daniel Joseph Brenneman. D. Strux in there promoting the brand. We love that. We're stuck at 35, which is depressing. So someone make me not depressed. I give a shout out to my cousin Joanne, Will Pena from Dying Breed Garage. Someday he's going to get me a 64 caddy. A shout out to Pat Volkemer, who just gets Chop Sports views.
Did you see that?
I believe that Volkemer is getting involved. He's like,
somebody hit me up on the side, and I'm like, dude, do you have 300,000 members of your group? I said, no. Yes, the problem is people see this and they share it out to their friends of how bad it was.
And listen, Pat's always been that way. He's always been controversial. If you went out for drinks with him, you would be laughing so hard at the stupid stuff he says. But he's my boy, and I know he got a lot of hits for you and himself, which is cool.
I just got a text. I got a text from Chris from outside saying, "I pray to God he does a preseason stinks list, please, Lord."
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. We got a nice show today. Show today. And I want to. You know what? I think you got up. My stinks list is not as bad as you think. Anyway, but another shout out. We got Volcano, Joe Sinacor, my cousin Joanne, and Darryl Clark. He's in mourning, not because of a death, but he's an LSU fan.
Oh man,
ooh, I might have been wrong about that Kelly coach. I thought
that was a brutal,
bad second half there.
Brutal. Duke, you forget they have a football team sometimes.
That's it. You know what happens to me? Every team that traditionally sucks that wins, I get pissed off. Duke is winning in football. Rutgers never win. Now all of a sudden, Colorado's good. It makes me sick. I've been a fan for 40 years, but more on that in a second. So that's it. Patreon. Bye-bye. 35. Come on. Somebody call up with a 36. That would be fun. Which brings us to, of course, Absolute Eyewear getting involved. I was hanging out with Jay Bird at the Rutgers game Sunday at 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732-326-3937. That's right, 732-326-3937. Craig and Johnny Michaud. Craig was there with his kids. By the way, Craig's kids are now 8'6".
Strong genes over there.
His other son is 8'1". They look like they're semi-pro basketball team. They probably all stink in softball like Craig did, but still, I gave his kids with a couple of beers with me the full rundown of Craig's career with Corona, all-time strikeout leader in every way. Craig struck out looking, bouncing off the plate, fouling off the third strike. He leads all categories.
So, all right, you're the legend that is Johnny Trino, and you bat at 706, and you've played softball your entire life. Honest opinion, what is worse in a slow pitch men's beer league softball game? Striking out, swinging, and giving it all your might, or just sitting there and watching that shit drop right on the plate?
Big argument we used to get arguments over this because Craig had to be there because he's really the aficionado of striking out. I used to tell Craig, you can't let it go to 2 strikes. Swing at the first pitch because that way you have 3 swings to strike out. He would take the first pitch, bounce off the plate, and then he would. But the thing was, he would sometimes the ball would land. Sometimes it catches the edge of the plate, and you're like, oh. When Craig struck out looking, I'm not lying to you, dude. If there was a GPS of the dead center of home plate, his ball landed like on the X, bang, dead center. We used to laugh our ass off. But I will admit, he was fast when he was younger, and he also would, like, the next time up, he'd hit the ball 400 feet. So he was a key cog in the Corona wheel. And I ran into him in the outfield once, and it was like running into a fire hydrant. So it looked like a marshmallow hitting a fire hydrant. That's exactly what happened. I was like, Craig, never be near me again in the outfield. But we love Craig. It was good to see his kids and his wife out for the Rutgers game. But they are full-service opticians, prescription eyewear, and glasses and sunglasses. They got contacts. They got glasses for kids. They got eye exams. Everything's done there. They even have air conditioning now. Dave experienced that. So go check them out. $100 off a complete pair when you go there and bust their balls. Just mention me or Dave or just talk to them about Rutgers or the Giants or mention anybody doing the Palumbo family and you'll get some kind of discount. But, of course, they sell there. Ray-Ban, Coach, Ralph Lauren, Dave Sturchio's Jimmy Choo, Silhouette, Michael Kors, Vogue, Maui Jim, Costa Del Mar, and Charles Oakley's kids are babysat there by Janine. Also, he still left. That's
great.
Charles Oakley, they got Oakley for kids there. They got discounts for the seniors. They're open 5 days a week here, Jay. Why are they closed on Sundays?
To watch the Cowboys defeat the New York Giants.
And why? I can't wait to do this show Tuesday. What are you going to
No. You've not understood the parameters surrounding Sunday's game. Is that
okay?
If the Cowboys lose, I will not be on the show.
You have to be a man. You're usually good about that, though. You always say you're going to be shitty, and then over the last 2 years, you do go up to the podium and face the media.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's going to be pain, though. It'll be pain. But anyway, so they're open and they're closed Wednesdays because of softball. We had fun with this ad. This is the longest running ad in the history of mankind. Absolute Eyewear. Go check them out. They're good people. When you leave there, you don't feel like a jerk off. Okay, well, I'm wearing Rutgers regalia, so you know something good happened over the weekend. And this is going to be a new tradition. When Rutgers wins, we show the gnome. The Rutgers gnome will make a guest appearance. Maybe I'll just talk behind the gnome. Go RU. We did well. Rutgers game was unbelievable for a number of reasons. Number one, I brought my daughter there. She's never seen Rutgers win in any event. And we won, which was happy for her. And she was actually watching the game like, Dad, which way are we going? She was asking elementary questions. I was walking her through it best I could. I told her who sucks. I went through that. She knows my stinks list. But it was a little hot, but it was perfect weather. We got there early. My brother's friend, Jimmy Nolan, and my friend, Jimmy Nolan, eggs, Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, pancakes with like chocolate chips. And here's the best part. He does the tailgate, and then when everybody's going to the game, he packs up and he leaves. He doesn't really like what his kid went to Rutgers. He's
there for the tailgate.
He does it for Giant games. He puts together a 5-star tailgate. You going in? It's like you don't see him anymore. He just heads
That's
home,
cool,
no
though.
traffic. He's like our caterer for the tailgates. He did a great job. My friend Mark Margagliato was there with her daughter Gemma, who was bonding with my my daughter, and she'd never been to a Rutgers game. So I have added another Rutgers fan to the. I feel bad. I might get a call from Dyfus, though. That you shouldn't do that.
It's child abuse.
It's definitely child abuse. But there's some negatives going in. The ticketing situation at Rutgers. Listen, this isn't Penn State or Ohio State or an NFL game. It takes so long to get into the gate. The woman there has this like electronic device, and instead of being like, "Let's go, moving on," bleep, 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 no, she's like, "Hey, how are you? Let me take that for you." Like every transaction is 2 minutes.
Who you rooting for?
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's like, hey, lady, be
Cat
rude.
doesn't give it away.
It's like I think if I was in charge of the ticket people, I'd be listen. I want you to be New Jersey rude, nasty, and move people into that stadium. Because we don't have anybody at the kickoff. There's like 10,000 people in there. That's because some lady's like, "Oh, that's a lovely Rutgers shirt you got there, huh?" And any little kid, he's like, "Oh, the little ones are having fun." Like, hey, lady,
is this your first game?
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah. and everybody, if a ticket taker gets punched in the face before I'm gonna call a detective and say, "What happened? Was she being slow and somebody just clocked her?" It was unbelievable to me. And there's no system. If you have a bag, go to the left, but the sign's like crooked. It says like go north. You don't even know what it's horrific.
It's telling me to go up. Should I go up?
Right.
How do I go up?
How do I get it? And meanwhile, you're walking into Rutgers stadiums like like outside a Goslin funeral home. You have to you got to, even though you're on the car talking, then you're like, I got to go in. You're somber. It's a slow pace. You're heading into a death chamber. No one survives, and everybody's just quiet. And you walk in, and
I experienced that a lot this weekend.
And you can't get anybody in. Now, the other thing is the concession stands. Now, they sell beer now, which is great, and they sell water with the beer, and the waters are like $5. Okay, the line, and listen, it's not that crowded there. You cannot. The line goes on forever, and they have different choices. Like, oh, if you want an IPA, you got to go on that line. If you want a Miller Lite, you got to go over here. If you want a Coors, and it's like there should just be beer. You get on a line and you
Did
get
you grab
beer.
yourself some LeGrand whiskey by any chance?
I couldn't even figure out where the hell that. I got on the first line. I could. Even the bathroom lines. There's urinals all over the place. Like some guy's almost pissing on you. You're like, well, what is this? And then you're bitter Rutgers fans. You don't mind getting pissed on. And Kenneth Wagner hopping in. Kenny, what's up, buddy? I'm going to contact Shiano. Say, dude, if your family if your family goes to a game, they'll be like this. And plus the beers are like $75. Anyway, that's my only bitch. Now, the game itself, getting involved, Northwestern stinks, but Rutgers did their job. Defense shut them down. They didn't score till like 8 seconds ago in the game. I thought the quarterback, Wimsatt, who I've been hard on, I thought he played good. Will not give him a great. He missed some passes, but he threw a couple of really nice balls. He finally ran a little bit, but not the speed run like Deshaun Jackson run. He ran like those bigger runs where he's a little bit of a bigger runner.
Like a Cam Newton type.
Yeah, and
bigger
I thought
body.
that was yeah, he's a bigger body. But I don't really his money's going to be on the passing, not on the running.
Tell you what, defense was
good. They were swarming to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I got to admit, I thought Northwestern's a mess. They got issues there with that hazing. Probably all the coaches eventually get fired. It's just a mess. But you know what? I thought those kids played hard. Rutgers we were mistake-free, no stupid penalties. It was just a solid effort against a not that good of a team.
Mm-hmm.
But we never win. So for me to be like, we won in the Big Ten, this dumb Rutgers fans like, oh, no, we never win. So picture you're starving and someone gives you a hamburger. That's the best hamburger you've ever ate in your life. Fine win, good tailgate, all good, clean fun here at Shea. Now we got Temple next week, 7:30, night game.
Run through those guys.
They could, but Temple's always a pain in the ass.
Temple's
even when Temple plays like Penn State, they're down 10-3 at the half.
See, Temple's, no, but that's a complete again. We all went. That picture actually just surfaced on my on this day on Facebook. My memories. It was me, you, and Gooch took the picture. We
went to Temple.
Went to Temple, and they kicked the shit out of them.
I bet in the beginning
like 50 points.
I know, but it's just Temple is just, I don't trust. Well, I'm a Rutgers fan, so I trust nothing that we're going to do.
Fair.
But it was there's a big game, no doubt about it, this week, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll be able to get there, and it should be fun.
Dave
game.
Rosenthal chiming in real quick. The down and yards to go and the timeouts.
Oh, totally right. Another thing he's right about. Now,
is that something off of the big board or something?
They put this $75 million 75-yard LED screen in. It's like NFL, like Texas Stadium kind of shit, right? But they used to have the down and distance on there. But now they have it on a little strip underneath. And if you don't go to Absolute Eyewear before the game,
you don't know what down it is.
You can't see it. And in the old days, the down and distance was on the video board. Now, whether the guy didn't load the software in,
maybe it's first game, jitters, first game, work out the kinks.
I got to be honest with you, though. I forgot they got a news board, and I didn't notice a difference. There probably was. It's probably got 7 million pixels. But to be honest with you, when you're at the game, I do like the big screen up there. It's cool. But I'm watching the game. I'm on the 45-yard line, 25 rows up. So I see the play. But yes, that board needs to be chimichanga there or something like that. So the other thing, college football, let's talk a little bit about Neon Deion primetime. I watched that game. It was wild. I also hate VCU. I always thought their schedule was never up to par, and they were always a chance to be in the Final Four. And Colorado came in with a revamped roster.
I mean TCU, right?
TCU. What did I say? VCU?
Yeah, VCU.
TCU.
Thank you. That is.
Yeah, Virginia Commonwealth. They're good hoops. My
TCU, the Horned Frogs, the playoff bound TCU
playoff
team.
Bound, yeah. Please. I thought. Listen, Colorado was awesome. Although, and Deion Sanders' kid was. My God, what do you have to do?
Yards,
I mean, 500. That's hard to do. That's what Chris Gucci thinks he can throw against me in the street. But it's But you know what annoys me about him? First of all, no not Chris. No Giant fan likes Deion.
He's murdered you multiple times.
Multiple. We didn't even throw at him. Plus, and we used to run at him. It would always be 3rd and 1 when we ran at him. But what I don't like about him is what he do is incredible in terms of taking the college system, which is all messed up with NIL. Plus, there's also rules that he was able to manipulate fairly and tell the kids to go. Now, what he did was he cut all the kids, but I don't know if you know this. They're allowed to keep their scholarship and stay at the school. You can't pull a scholarship from anybody. But if you're a player and you're a sophomore, you want to play football. So all the kids left to go to other schools.
He said that. Don't you remember that in his opening press conference?
But he did it he was a little vicious about it.
He was. He says, I'm bringing my luggage. I'm bringing my guys.
What I don't like about his post-game stuff is that, again, I don't want to talk politics, but he just beat TCU. So everybody was mocking him. You're not going to do it. Wait till you play the regular schedule. So you have him now. It's over. You just stepped on the throat of all the naysayers. But then he's got to be nasty. He wasn't primetime. I watched about 6 reporters' questions. He got nasty with people. And it's something that's allowed now on social media. Dude, you got him. You just did an incredible thing. And I thought he was nasty on a bunch of questions that were asked.
Well, listen, I mean, you said that I know we talked in pre about this for a second. You said I would agree with you. I'm on the fence of look, nobody gave him a fighting chance. He got the job at Colorado, right? And everybody was like, all right, that's great, but he's not going to turn this team around.
But people thought, not when the roster came in and they were all guys from big schools. His roster is all from Alabama, from all over the place. So
no, I know, but I mean, he's been for months now leading into this moment. Nobody was giving him a chance. So at the end of the day, if a reporter, let's just say his name is Bob Smith, if Bob Smith went out there and said, Deion Sanders is the new coach of Colorado, man, is this going to be a mockery? Man, is this going to be a joke? Man, he's going to stink. He doesn't know how to coach a real big program. And then all of a sudden, Bob Smith is at the post game, and he's like, Deion, man, congratulations. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck, screw you, bro. You were the one that said I had no chance. I don't like you. You don't get to ask the questions anymore. Give it to the next guy. I don't want to hear from you. I know they have a job to do,
you
but
can't do that. I thought he was rude about it, but listen, that's my opinion. Also, another thing is that Colorado defense. See, people forget when you watch a game, you're so thrilled that Colorado could win the game. But did anybody make a tackle in the last 27 minutes of that game? No.
Deion didn't really make many tackles either in his career. So.
Okay, listen, that was a TCU I thought played horrifically. And now they play Nebraska next week. And I think Nebraska's in a very tough spot there. They haven't been winning lately. The point spread's only 3. Nebraska's getting 3.5.
I've heard some of my gambling friends have hit me up and saying the lock of the week is to bet against Deion this week. Like, it's like
you know
almost
what?
like
That's
too high now, and then they're just going to fall from grace.
You got to remember, though, I think if the other team runs the ball and kills the clock, and here's another thing. If this kid Sanders, you think he's going to throw for 500 yards?
No. I think he played out of his mind. And when they do that,
out of his mind. I got to give it up. I got to give it to Deion, but you don't have to be nasty and rude. And in my opinion, maybe I'm a jerk off. Which brings us to, that's enough about college football. Notre Dame won big. Penn State won big. Let's talk about the Yankees. Now, I feel like I watched some Yankee games, believe it or not. I love watching these kids play, and here's why. A couple years ago, the Yankees had a bunch of kids play as well, and it was fun to watch. None of them are playing anymore because, when they come up as 20-year-old kids,
right.
I remember that, what's his name? The catcher, the one we just got rid of. Oh, my God. The guy Sanchez, remember him? It was like, oh, my God. And remember, Sanchez is way better than Judge. Look at his swing. And now Sanchez is pumping gas somewhere. So this whole thing, but it is fun watching these kids. I get amazing that you have Central Newport News over there. my cousin Patrick. I love that. But these kids are 20 years old. My daughter's 14 and a half. This guy's 5.5 years older. And this guy, he's hitting bombs, Dominguez. I'm like, oh my God, what a thrill. But you know what? Pitching coaches watch film. It's like, okay.
Like I said, man. Yeah. I mean, look, it's always a good thing. The Yankees have been checked out for a while. But it's always nice to sweep the Astros. I can't remember the last time we've done that. But yeah, I mean, the kids are raking right now, and that's great because
but you know what? Where are they going to play next year? The Yankees, they're screwed with. They got players that they're locked into. It's not a simple thing.
Well, I mean, look, they have to look at themselves in the mirror and say that it's time to pull a Mets, and by that I mean, hey, we know we owe you this. Well, here's this. Go away now. You know what I mean? Like,
but they all have no trade. I mean, they can't.
Doesn't matter. No, I'm saying that like just 2 days or a week ago, they finally pulled the plug on Donaldson. They said, you know what? Look, man, you're great. Even Harrison Bader, who was one of the brighter spots of the team, they're like, look, man, you got to go. You know what I mean? Like, if they know they have no future here, which I'm kind of very shocked about the Bader thing. I thought for sure he'd be like,
but don't you think? Don't you think it's possible that Bader signs with them because he's a free agent again?
I don't know, but answer the phone.
I don't know why that phone is. It's my house phone.
You have a house phone?
I have a house phone.
You're old when you have a house phone.
I don't even know. It hasn't rung. That phone hasn't rang. I've been here 2 months. It hasn't rang yet.
That's amazing, dude.
I wish I could answer it. If I was close to the phone, I would answer it. There you go. That stops. So
give him another call. Try him again.
Call him again. Probably. Listen, I need more car insurance or whatever.
There you go. Is that a voicemail? This is great.
It's some kind of government thing about child support. So a previous person here was a jerk off.
Listen to this. Listen to Jimmy trying to cover up for himself right now.
No. His guy's name is like Juan DeVils, Alvarado, second and third, and here's whatever his name is. Which brings us to.
You believe that some schmuck that lives here isn't paying child support? Well, Jimmy,
my daughter Natalie, she's
taken care of. Everybody's good.
Everybody's good in that regard. Which brings us to a very special, brand new, a year-old segment here. It is time for the NFL Stinks List, sponsored by CornholeLevel.com. That's right, CornholeLevel.com. Now, listen. Those of you watching here on LinkedIn and other facilities, there it is right there. You just buy this Look at the jug. You always drink
got
the
a handle
jug.
this time.
Like, look at that thing. It looks like it's like a urinal. I don't understand this. You buy this thing right here. You can even get a Rutgers one, Penn State one, whatever you got to do. Boom, right there. And it levels your cornhole. Now, listen, Dave, your wife's been saying your cornhole's been uneven for a couple of years. And now you buy this for $19.95. You get 20%
right
off,
out.
and you will straighten out your cornhole. It's a great gift, good for the kids, a great stocking stuffer here at Shea. The jug and the cornhole. That's very funny, Troy.
That's my 18th podcast starting next week. Welcome back to the jug and the cornhole.
That's it. Me and Dave are just weeks away from owning a carpet cleaning business, but hey, we're still here. 8 games out with 9 to play with a big 3-game series to close it out. So we just got to cut it to 6. But you got to go to cornholelevel.com. 20% off if you put in JP Show. These things are cool. It's owned by Mike Caprio, my second baseman. Check these out. It's a really fun gift for people that play cornhole. And the world seems to be playing cornhole, even though I'm ranked like 80th in the world. I've only played 4 times my whole life. But they are sponsoring my stinks list. And here we go.
How do you have a stinks list? We haven't started yet.
Pre going in. You have a pre.
Oh, it's all right. So it's like a power rankings before the
power
season
rankings for the season. Now, those of you who know me, you know if this is a pre-power rank, there's going to be a lot of stinks because I just go by even helmet colors at certain
Oh my
teams.
God.
But we'll start off with the AFC East. I got the Buffalo Bills at very good. I got the Dolphins at stink. Patriots average. And the Jets I'm putting out for the first time in a while. They are good to start the season. I think that could be eventually, it could be one of my VGs. Very good.
You have justifications for these things, or you just kind of throw it out there?
The Bills were good last year. I think they're going to be good again this year. The Dolphins just, they I don't know. I think they stink. Everybody's like so high on them. I got the Patriots at average. I think that's going to move. This could be the year the Patriots end up on solid stink ground. The Jets usually stink, but Aaron Rodgers are good. I think the Jets are going to have a good season, so I think the Jets will end up being a VG. But for right now, I think it's a good pick to just have them at good. That's all we're at. Okay, AFC North. The Bengals, very good. Cleveland Browns, they stink. The Steelers stink. And the Baltimore Ravens I have is good. I definitely think the Browns and Steelers. I'm more correct on my stinks than I am on the goods and very goods. If you notice, at the end of the year, it's accurate. I went last year, my post stinks list. I looked up every rankings. I was dead on the stinks. Very few teams that stink were actually good. That's my opinion there. Now, the AFC South, we might as well call it the AFC stink. Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Texans stink across the board.
Jaguars are going to be good.
Okay, they're going to be good. We'll see. They can grow. Now, the beautiful thing about my list, you can improve. You can go from stinks to very good.
You're setting the bar very low for a lot of these teams. So
because they stink. Dude, they stink. Come on, who are we kidding? AFC West, Denver Broncos stink. I got the Chiefs is very good. There was a higher level I'd put in there. You got the Chiefs. You got to love them. Las Vegas and the Chargers stink. Both of them stink. They stink. Come on now. And don't go like, ooh, the Raiders. No, they stink.
No, the Chargers. Jimmy, come on, man. The Chargers are very good.
What did they finish last year?
Like the game out of first.
What was their record?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I have no idea. But I'm just saying the Chargers are good.
Let's go see.
10-7.
Maybe I could go back to the old last year's stinks list. Let's see where your Chargers. They were 10-6.
Well, 10-7 or 11-5 or 11-6.
Listen, Chargers can go up. I just think the Chargers stink. My list, my call. Let's get to the NFC East. I have the way I did it with the NFC East because they were pretty good all last year, actually. They might have been the best conference on the Jimmy Palumbo stinks list in terms of maintaining goods and very goods. I have the Dallas Cowboys as good. I have the New York Giants as good. And I did that for a reason. They play each other first week.
Does the loser go to the stinks list?
Oh, for sure. So I set that up. I didn't want to put anybody at very good. I figured let me put him at good and see what happens. Giants finished a decent year last year. Cowboys were good last year as well. So I figured that's the battle of the stinks list on Sunday. And they'll promote that on ESPN. I have the Eagles is very good because they are very good. And they somehow in the draft, they got every great player that everybody wanted. Every
got
player,
the entire Georgia defensive line at this point.
It's like every player that a Cowboy fan and Giant fan wanted, and the Eagles select the team that pissing off, and they just got. Well, listen, but nobody knows how good the draft picks are until they play. But it just seemed like, oh shit, Eagles are good, and they got better players. Who knows? And I got the Washington Commanders as average. So I have the NFC East as really being the strongest division. We have two goods, a very good, and an average. So we'll see how that plays out.
In what world do you think the Washington Commanders right now are average?
I think they're going to shock the world. They're going to be better. They were in some close games last year. Okay, you want? Let's see. Let's let it play out. Right. Listen, what do they say? So
far, to take a word out of Johnny Trino's book, so far your stinks list is atrocious.
No way. No way. Yeah. Dead on. Okay, Chicago Bears stink. I have the Detroit Lions as being good. I think they could be decent this year. I have the Packers as stink. Boy, are they in for, we don't have our quarterback. Just like I can name about 17 teams since 1960 that have lost their star quarterback, and it never ends well. Unless you do the Montana Steve Young. But Steve Young was a backup for 7 years.
Well, I mean, they went from Favre to Rodgers, so it's not like,
Okay. Favre to Rodgers, to Derek, what's his name? Derek Love? No,
it's Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, whatever his name. Please, he stinks. All right. And Minnesota Vikings I have is average, only because they lost to the Giants and in the playoffs when they probably should have beat the Giants and they didn't. NFC South, something with the word South, it's close to stinks. So you know what that means. Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers, stink. All four of them stink. Now, I'm not talking about spreads and gambling. This is just you're watching a game on your couch and say, this team stinks. That's exactly what this list is all about. This is for the true fans of who stinks.
This is the couch fans, by the way.
Couch fans. NFC West, a little bit tougher. I had trouble with this one. I have the Rams as stinking. I have the Cardinals as stinking. I have the 49ers as very good. And for some reason, the Seahawks are average. Mostly because my brother-in-law is a Seahawk fan, and they are kind of average. I looked at the record the last couple of years, and they've just been average. So we have, this year, pre-week 1, 18 stinks, 4 average, 5 goods, and 5 very goods. Now, we'll see if the Giants beat the Cowboys or Cowboys beat the Giants. They'll get the VG for sure, unless it's a shitty game, which could happen. Then you know what? I also reserve the right. If I think the game is shitty, no matter who wins, I can reduce them both to average. That could easily happen. That's my list. That's how we do it. We start it. We have to start somewhere. Maybe it's not the most accurate for you guys scoring at home, but it is for me. Now, a couple of other things. This is for you Giant fans out there. I think this week is a big game for the Giants because it's opening day. You could sometimes beat a team that's better than you on opening day. The coaches, it's a different animal opening day, because if you look at the Giants' schedule, they got Dallas, at Arizona, at San Francisco, Seattle, Miami, Buffalo, Washington, Jets. Hey, Giant fans, if we get a little sloppy early on, we could be 2-6 and be decent and be 2-6. The Giants have really got to be careful with these first half of the season. Second half of the season gets a little easier, but the Giants' schedule is tough. You got to be careful. I also did a little research. Some of the Giant fans were talking about Cowboys' record and stuff like this. I don't know if you know any of this. Let's see if now, Dave, I'm going to ask you to be honest with me. Mm-hmm. Okay. The Cowboys' record since 1960.
What's their record?
Yeah.
You
wouldn't be able to guess.
Well, no, I won't get their record, but I will tell you that I think it's just above. It's not a bad winning percentage.
Okay.
They're in the top 5 winning percentages of all time, I think.
I think they might be number 1. Here's why. They're 550 and 408 with 6 ties in their franchise history. The Giants since 1960 are 460 and 494 with 10 ties. Okay.
So they're under 500?
Yeah, since 1960. Now,
stinks.
I also looked at since 2017, the Cowboys are 11-1 against the Giants.
And that's Dak Prescott when he's
and the Eagles are 10-2. Which means all you Giant fans out there, and I'm one of them, we need to calm down. The Eagles and Giants, since in the last 6 years, have been kicking the shit out of us. There's no question about that. Now, since 1996, what do you think the record is, the Giants versus the Cowboys? Cowboys record against the Giants since 1996.
Since 1996, which means that was the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl.
Right.
They've only had like 5 or 6, maybe 7 years where the Cowboys were in like the 11-win, 12-win category. Other than that, they've stunk. So I want to say it's almost, is it dead even or not dead even, but like close?
Cowboys are 30-24 against
Right
the
there.
Giants.
So 6 games over 500. That's not a lot.
Now the Giants, since 1996, are 208 and 224 and 2 ties. So since the Cowboys have been shitty since 1996, the Giants are 208 and 224. So everybody calm down. Now, playoff, this one you should get. Playoff wins since 1996. How many years have they got to be quick on this answer because you could probably figure it out. How many years since 1996 have the Cowboys made the playoffs?
Well, how many years is that? 17 years?
Yeah.
17 years the Cowboys probably.
It's 27 years.
Oh, yeah. Shit. That's the drought. 27 years. So the Cowboys have made the playoffs probably 19 of those times.
All right. 12 years they made the playoffs. And
12 out of 27?
Yeah. 12 years. And the Giants have made the playoffs only 10 years. So this whole thing, like, the Cowboys, 1996.
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, it's Super Bowls, and the Giants have won too. So
now, what do you think what the Cowboys' record is in the playoffs since 96?
Since 96, they've only won maybe like 5 playoff games.
5-12. Dave starts over a bank 3 right there.
I like that one.
Like that. And the Giants have been 11-8. 11-8 in the 10, only because we had 2 4-0s, and that's what happens there. I thought that was interesting. Little Giant Cowboy trivia there, heading into the big showdown of East Rutherford, New Jersey. I will be there with bells on.
What time are you getting there, Jim?
I don't know yet, but let's.
I gotta get a parking pass. Shit.
I got a parking pass. Are you going by yourself? Or you going with a bunch of guys?
Nah, me and my brother.
We meet somewhere, so maybe we can pull something off. But
we'd have to jump in the same car.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But otherwise, you got to go early, and you got to.
If there's any Giant fans watching this and they want to spare their parking pass, hit me up.
Listen to me. Go on a bar. Listen to me. It's great. Go on a bar called Reds. Have you heard of this?
We planned on going there first for the 1 o'clock.
It's $30. They give you a beer, plus there's a bar. So you go early. If it's really hot out or something, or it's raining, go in and have a beer. The bar is literally a par 3 away from the stadium.
Oh, really? Is that?
And then they have these little jitney buses that illegally go weave in and out of the security guards and drop you off in front of the stadium. But at the end of the game, it's almost like Russian roulette. You got to go to the area, and this guy, they must duke the guards and the yellow jackets because they like.
Oh, I think they have. I think they have to have an agreement. You know.
Okay. When you see it, you're like, it's like the bus driver's like, all right, we're gonna, all right, get out. It's not. You'll see. But you know what? Then after the game, you go back to Reds, and if you just want to have a beer or get something to eat, you're right there. Wait for the traffic to die down. Well worth the $30, I think. Maybe it's sold out now because it's Sunday. I don't know. Check that out though.
Don't worry about that last comment.
Who's this Linda James? I'm
Dude,
aware you don't know me.
No. Don't even read it out loud because it's just like
I've
seen her comment on some of your posts on Facebook, and I'm just like, is she a hooker?
Her.
Like, she might be a hooker.
So, listen, if you're gonna,
I'm always looking to make new friends, and you're like, well, all right.
If you're gonna do this,
sure.
Linda, this is Jimmy talking to you. If you're gonna do this, please put your rates when you're available. Otherwise, I have friends of mine that may want to know about your business you have on the side. Maybe she's just looking to join a fantasy league.
There you go.
Anyway, so
have you seen how many posts in Chop Sports about people's fantasy leagues?
Oh my God! You see my comments? I'm like,
I have seen some of them.
It's first of all, I hate fantasy leagues, and I think people I think the comments. First of all, I'm 58 years old. I don't think I can. Me and my cousin John do this every year, going to Giant Stadium week 1. John, how many Giant players can you name? He's like, 6. It's like, you'll see when you get older. I know you follow the Cowboys. When you get older, something happens to your brain where you're like, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I only know 9 players. It's like
I beg to differ on that one. My father's pretty good, but like he'll get like first names wrong a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
you'd be surprised.
That's George Smith. No, that's Emmett. That no.
Yeah, or if you fall asleep at the wheel for 6 months with the NFL, you know none of the players. Like
zero.
You're looking for like, where's Everson Walls? Is he still playing? And then what I do is at the Giant game, like, if like a number 88 catches a pass, I'll just yell, Bobby Johnson with a nice grab there. Bobby Johnson retired 40 years ago. Anyway, that brings us to OxyMagicUSA.com. That's right. OxyMagicUSA.com. OXY. Why? Because they're the best damn carpet cleaners in the world here. They don't drag the hoses through. They have guys come in with this machine. Dave's used them. I've used them. It dries in a couple hours. They got the green seal of approval, EPA safer choices. Their products are certified green here at Shea. They'll clean your carpets, your area rugs, upholstery, tile, and grout. 80 locations nationwide, soon to be 81. Talk to me and Dave in about 3 months. OxyMagicUSA.com. We're going to do our podcast live from a carpet cleaning. If there's a little buzz in the background, that's just our machines. OxyMagicUSA.com. They also are offering 0% company financing for new location owners here at Shea. You got to go to OxyMagicUSA, OXY, MagicUSA.com. Talk to Tommy DeMeo and his lovely wife, Natalie. They don't play pickleball anymore. I don't see them, but that's because they're busy lounging out on the Jersey Shore. They should be back this week, I'm sure. And I can't wait to play him in pickleball. He's really good. So is his wife. Oxy Magic USA, another fine sponsor of the show. Now, let's have some fun. I took my daughter to see Barbie.
So 5 stars, 4 stars. What are we thinking?
Okay. Hold on a second. Now, the first 30 minutes of Barbie were cute and adorable. It was tapping into the old Barbie stuff that my sister used to have when I was little. Mm-hmm. And Margot Robbie, I don't even want to use the word Jordan with her. It's more like Wilt and Kareem early, Lou Alcindor. It's just, I just think if Margot Robbie played in the NFL, Margot Robbie rolls rights, got a man first down. Like she is, any sport, like NHL, Margot Robbie along the near side, blue line, wrist shot, scores. Like it doesn't matter. 8 seconds to go, inside, Robbie, turnaround, jump. Yes, and we're tied on anyone. Any sport, even golf. Oh, it's a 60-foot putt, and it's gonna roll in. Margot Robbie shooting a 61 on the final day here at the Masters and wins by 90 strokes. This girl, it's unbelievable. I actually, my daughter and a friend were like 5 seats away. I wanted to give them, let them sit with the boob like me. But I'm looking at Margot Robbie, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a guy sitting alone staring at Margot Robbie.
Man, what a look.
Every time she got off the screen, I just yelled out, and the Knicks, while I'm talking over.
Call timeout.
Margot Robbie is just, I don't care. People say, oh, she's too much of a blonde. No. She's got 11 rings. She wins. She's a combination of Brady, Jordan, Ruth, Gehrig. She's like, her face is on the entire screen. It's almost like, it's like watching a 30 on 30 on Who's Hot in America. There's just this girl. She's just, we've talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I actually saw the movie. Now that Margot Robbie's out of the way and I'm breathing normal, the movie, wow, first half hour was fun. The last hour and a half, oh my God.
It's 2 hours.
I can't tell you how much I hated this movie. This whole, the movie Barbie is the only movie that can actually not make me forget about how hot Margot Robbie is. I don't know. The script, it's all of this. Listen, I know you do the Me Too women's empowerment thing. I don't mind doing that for a little bit. 90 minutes of that? Oh my God. Men suck. Women are great. Men suck. Women are great. Oh, Ken's a pussy. Women rule. Women rule. And then another thing is the casting of this movie. How dare they? They had Margot Robbie as their starting center, okay? And every other Barbie girl that's in that is like they hang out at Leggett's. This was the matter of fact, the reason why Margot Robbie may not win if she was on an NCAA team is the cast around her. She's going to score 60. She can't do it herself. You got triple down on her.
Right.
The other and yet they it just was so stupid to me. They just after a while, and worse than the women empowerment thing that they hammered home. Like even my daughter's 14, she started to look at her phone. I was looking at my phone. It was wordy, like a lot of talking about it, which is worse. Like, oh my God, I thought it. Listen, I can't believe.
So obviously you loved it.
No, listen, Margot. I would say any guy go see it because of Margot Robbie. I have no problem.
I can look up stills. I'm good.
I believe. Like you can't take your daughter there. She won't know what the hell's going on. She'll just see.
No,
these
and I
I
never even contemplated it.
Okay, but if your daughter, I don't think anybody under like at 10 years old will get the themes. Ugh, I thought it was horrific.
But if they do a sequel and they call you to be Grandpa Barbie, you're
all in. Well, then Grandpa Palumbo Barbie here, Johnny Trillo. No, I thought the movie
comes with a customizable cane.
Nobody cares about this. They're pushing an agenda.
No shit, God. Jimmy. No shit. Welcome to Hollywood, Jimmy. You're supposed to be versed in this.
No. This was like on acid. This was like CNN Fox in a cage match. And this was just you know what? It was atrocious. I couldn't take it. But you know what? Bottom line is, you just who was the team that did not draft Margot Robbie? That's all I gotta say. Like she is. Who's the guy that? Sam Bowie. That's what before Jordan. Which brings us to, of course, chasingmiracles.com here at Shea. Listen, I'm wearing the patches. My mother's wearing the patches. She may not get knee surgery because of these patches. They work. Go to chasingmiracles.com. Their stem cell patches creates an immediate effect, repairing stuff on your body. It's all the shit your body needs. That's the bottom line. It's stamina, energy, muscle strengthening, pain elimination, a little detox, a little weight loss. Palumbo with 2.3 pounds getting involved here. This stuff is just, it's unbelievable how it works. No needles, nothing invasive. You're not gonna fail a blood test. Chasingmiracles.com. Check these things out. They work. Go talk to Tommy and Donna at chasingmiracles.com for the stem cell patches, and also I call them the sandbags, which are coral calcium, as they call them, which give you minerals and all that stuff put in your water, which I got right here. I got my little sandbag in there floating around. God bless. Trying to get healthy here at Shea, chasingmiracles.com. All right. Now, winning time. Have you watched the show, The Lakers show at all?
No, I don't have time for that.
It's great. Yes, you do. It's a great
no,
show.
I really don't. I wish I did. But
on a Sunday night, your kids go to bed, you have time.
I'm watching Heels. Heels is my show. That's on Sunday night. I catch up on Heels.
That's gross. I love this show because it's half true and half fake. And I don't like the Lakers anyway. So to me, it's like, I'll watch and just believe whatever I want to believe. The acting is hysterical. The guy who plays Jerry Buss, he's got to win the Emmy for this. But it's an interesting time with the whole Celtic thing. And what makes me sad is somehow through this whole thing, the Knicks stunk. They didn't get good till like Ewing's 5th year.
That's where they got Pat Riley from.
That's it, Pat Riley, right. And but Pat Riley comes across as really cool in this. And
I did. I listen, I watched the first season, so I know the characters are who's playing who. Right, so like I get that part. I just haven't caught up.
My favorite line is he looks at Bob Mack because now he's the head coach. Now they just fired Paul Westhead. I love the shitty names that they mentioned. Those are guys that ended up on the Knicks, like Bob McAdoo. And he's yelling at the team and he goes, "McAdoo, you're not starting anymore." It's so great, Bob. Like nobody watching that show knows who Bob McAdoo is, but except my brother. My brother's driving off the road right now, and he's going to text me how good Bob McAdoo was. But all I know is Pat Riley.
Holy shit, Jimmy! Over the weekend, I made a reference to something. I was talking to somebody, one of my colleagues, and I made a reference to something, and I literally said, and I fucking wanted to fight myself as soon as I said it. I said, Bubba, I forget in what context it was, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it doesn't matter. 2 people just drove off the road. And I'm like, the fuck did I just say? Oh my God. So please.
And the Jimmy Palumbo Show influence. Listen,
terrible.
I'm a big wrestler fan. So, actually, we're going to get to your wrestling stuff. I want to hear about that in a second. Also, listen, I can't get enough of Hard Knocks. Now, Aaron Rodgers, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I would just say, you know what? I don't feel like doing this anymore. Like if they win the Super Bowl this year, Rodgers say, you know what? I'm just going to do some kind of reality TV show because I'm better at it than everyone. I think he's a star. The guy's just smooth and cool. And
yeah, it's almost as if when they're showcasing somebody else, you're like, all right, that's cool, but get back to Rodgers.
Get back to Rodgers, right? It's unbelievable to me. I know it's fake and it's reality. Yeah, it's like he's even when they're doing the stupid magician was on last week and he's doing really well. Aaron Rodgers, like, you can tell if he doesn't like a segment, he's giving a look like, what is it? I don't want to do this. And then I love that last week he got annoyed at the practice. Guys weren't doing well. So it was like, oh, the fun Rodgers. Everybody loves Aaron Rodgers. And all of a sudden he started screaming at tight ends and receivers that weren't in the right position. And
speaking of that, that's where I got one of your better performing clips, because you sent it to me and you're like, we got to do something with this. And it was actually Mecole Hardman during the Magic show wearing a medallion on his neck saying 706. And I was like, oh, that's fucking, we don't run with that.
Now, why does it say 706? Anybody know?
Is that his area code? I don't know. Maybe that's where he's from.
706. We got to find that out.
I'm going to find out right now what area code is 706.
He's going to find out. So while you're talking, I'm also want to you look that up while I'm going to give a shout out. I'm going to give a shout out.
Augusta, Georgia.
At 706 area
Southern
code?
boy. There you go.
Is that where he's from, though?
I don't know.
Could be his area code, which could be like Des Moines. Shout out to the 4 assholes that sat behind me at the Rutgers game. And I'll tell you why. There were 4 guys who were carbon copies of me. It's Georgia? Okay.
He's from Georgia, so there you go.
There you go. But these guys sitting behind me at the Rutgers game, all around my age, maybe a little younger, Rutgers fans, but bitter, beaten up a little bit, but kind of like 2 of them were a little more positive than me. 2 of them were more negative than me. And during the fourth quarter, it was 24-0. At that point, we just talked about shitty Rutgers. Thought it was great. I just want to give a shout out. I didn't really even get any of their names. I'm like, these are my guys. I could drink with these guys.
Is that where they're going to be sitting, like behind you for the rest of the season?
We move around. We have great seats, and we go by. We just shuffle around. We all have seats in the air. But believe me, I know who they are. Yeah, I'll get you to a game for sure. It's a lot of fun. The seats are great, as you know. Also, I want to give a shout out to Mark Margagliata. I finally got my sink in. He works at Ferguson. Took me a while, but I finally got a sink.
Making moves, Jimmy.
He's my sink guy. Now I got to have someone install it. I can't get anybody to install this. It makes me absolutely crazy. So shout out to my boy. And he brought his daughter Gemma to the Rutgers game. We had fun. Also, don't forget Pine Tar Bar and Grill. If you're NFL, if you're around this week, Sunday, you got to go to 121 South Main Street, Forked River, 609-489-4286. Pine Tar Bar and Grill. I say it's the best sports bar around. I got to get you there. Maybe we'll go down there one night, bust balls. It's a really cool place. PineTarBarGrill.com. Go check it out. Also, if you're feeling down and out, things are getting a little crazy in your life, Lisa Ruane, 201-725-1251. Certified therapist here at Shea. She does hypnotherapy, regular therapist. I'm big on this. Things aren't going your way. You don't feel right. Got to call somebody. That's the way it goes. So Lisa Ruane, that's 201-725-1251. And I believe that could be the end of our show. But we got to do one final thing. We got to do it. Predictions for this Giant game on Sunday. Now, don't give me, I know you're going to say the Cowboys, but give me a little something. Give me something. Like, act like we're on ESPN.
Sure. Personally, I think that the fact that Dak and the rest of the starters didn't play at all this preseason at all, they've
you hate that.
I hate that because I just think you need a little bit of a mental rep. You need to and be on cadence, something.
Couldn't agree with you more.
But again, we've lost Romo for a year because of that, and I get the trepidation, but I don't agree with it. The Cowboys are a very, very good football team through and through. They have Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. I'm not going to say great. I'm not going to say legendary. He's a good, serviceable quarterback. Probably somewhere hovering in the top 10, maybe just a little bit outside it. I don't know. They have an explosive offense. They have a very, very good defense. Daniel Jones and Saquon showed us a little something last year. They've added some weapons. They've added a Darren Waller. Saquon's now also playing for his life because they can either scratch him or he can earn a nice paycheck. So I think the Giants are going to be good. In this game, as it gets closer, I'm picking the Cowboys to win it. And I thought maybe the Cowboys would get off to a slow start because of the fact that nobody's played in the preseason. I still think that happens. I don't think anybody blows anybody out, but I don't think it's one of those like last second field goal games. Right. Cowboys will probably win this one. If I had to put a number on it, like 23-17 or something like that.
And what's the spread? 6?
I believe it's 3 in favor of the Cowboys.
Right, which really
Neutral ground would be 6, yeah.
Right.
Probably a touchdown favor. So I would say 23-17 Cowboys. I'll probably change that score 15 times before I actually get to the game itself. But Giants will score. Giants will score. They might score early. That place might be rocking. But I think the Cowboys will win.
I don't think I'm gonna go with this. I think the Giants are on this little false hope thing last year created. I think the Cowboys defense is going to be stifling for the Giants. And I believe the only way the Giants will win is if the score is 17-13, 13-10. I don't think the Giants are going to score over 20 points. They never score over 20 points, really. So Cowboys are going to be gunning for them. I think the fact that it's a night game, there'll be tons of Cowboy fans there because the Giant fans, the older generation, doesn't go to night games. The place will be half filled with Cowboy fans. I think the key is really Daniel Jones and their new, because they had the worst receivers in the history of the NFL last year. They've gotten different receivers. We don't know how much they suck.
They drafted one, they signed one.
We'll see.
Too crazy.
But I don't see the Giants going over 20 points. And if I think if Cowboys take an early lead, 10-0, 13-3, they'll win the game. They'll peel their ears back on Daniel Jones. But I think the Giants could win this game because of the opening day jitters on both teams.
Sure.
But I think like 6 games in, the Cowboys will have a better record than the Giants either way. Cowboys are good. Just you can't deny it. Mm-hmm. But you know what? NFL is such a weird league. You can be good one year.
The parity in it is like no other.
Yeah, you can be like, 11-5 when I used the 16 game schedule. You do the math, you're either way.
I get it.
You go 11-5 and you think, okay. And all of a sudden, like, you just go 8-8. Like, what? With the same players. Like, sometimes guys don't get hurt, Dak Prescott, you're higher on him than I am. I think the Giant Cowboys have had weapons at wide receiver that just about anybody can toss the ball to. I'll put it this way. If the Cowboy wide receivers were on the Giants, I would pick the Giants to win by two.
Think about it like this. I mean, like when Dak went down last year and even one game before that, the previous year, Cooper Rush is 5-1 as a starter.
Right.
And so they do have talent around. It's not like you have to be a complete.
And that one wide receiver who he drops the ball sometimes, but he's
CeeDee Lamb?
When if he runs a fly pattern and your safety's looking at a tight end, he's gone.
The Cowboys have added more talent and more speed in the backfield, and definitely in the perimeter. Brandon Cooks has played football for what feels like 15 years, but he could take the cover off the top, and Pollard's back, and they got little Deuce Vaughn, who I don't know how they're going to use him, but it'll be interesting.
And you know what? To be honest with you, we said it. The Giants are 11-1. The Cowboys were 11-1 against the Giants. That's 12 games. So,
last time Dak Prescott lost to the Giants was actually Dak Prescott's first start as a quarterback in the NFL, 2016.
One of the things that when I was doing earlier in the show records, here's one thing though, and you're going to totally agree with this. Forget about wins and losses. When the Cowboys were very, very good at any point, the Giants, for some reason, always play the Cowboys well.
I think that's every team in the NFL against the Cowboys.
When the Giants were very good, from say 81 to 90, in that era, LT, the Cowboy games were rarely blowouts until the Cowboys got really shitty after what's his name? Troy Aikman left. But so when the Giants were good in 86, we split. Giants were 14-2. One of them was against Cowboys. So it's a weird stat. So even though the Giants lose a lot, like last year's game, that opening day game, dude, that was the most winnable football game. The Cowboys almost really should have lost that game, if you ask me. But they didn't, because they got Dak's a veteran quarterback. And I want to see some veteran shit out of Daniel Jones, too. I want to see some like where let's not panic, down 10-0. Let's not go nuts. But
I think bringing back Saquon for the year. I think if the Giants would have went into the season without Saquon Barkley behind them to help Daniel Jones, it would have been very, very hard this year. I really do. I think Saquon makes him a lot better. When you can dump a ball off to a very skilled guy like that makes you better no matter what. So.
But I want to see when the Cowboys bring the house and Micah Parsons just misses, then you got to dump off to Barkley and he's got room. But he could also guard Barkley as well. So there's
Parsons
issues
is
there.
a freak.
He is a freak. I also predict he will have more sacks last year than this year. That's what I think. I think he's going to have the sophomore blues or whatever you want to call
Who?
him. Parsons.
He's playing full-time edge rusher, brother.
You'll see. He's going to have less sacks than last year. How many did he have this last year?
I don't know, but I was just
12, 15, something like that?
No, I don't know, but I was looking at Dying Breed Garage's comment. Dave Heels, it's ladies' night here at the Omni. Now, I don't know if he knows what Heels is. Heels is actually a pro wrestling show. Now
I know nothing
on Stars.
Oh, I thought it was one of those shows.
No,
I didn't know. I'm thinking, is Dave watching something like comic
like
drama
Real Housewives?
on
No. Heels is a professional wrestling show on Stars.
That's so funny. That really
Jerk
I
off.
didn't know what it was. So Dying Breed, big fan of mine. We don't from the Omni, ladies' night here at the Omni, but it's a wrestling show. So I don't even know what the hell it is. But I will. What channel is it on?
Stars.
All right, there you go, right there. So 11 people, including 8 from Chop Sports Media, watch Heels on it. What night is it on?
I believe every Friday it drops a new episode. I usually catch up on Sunday.
Is it a storyline or it's just all about wrestling?
No. It's like a story. Like it's about like like the origin is like the father started a promotion out in East Bumble, wherever the hell. He kills himself. He leaves it to his sons to run, and now they have to try to get the company up and running and stuff like that. So there's a lot of back end. But there's also, what goes into making a card and what goes into making a storyline and shit like that. It's actually pretty good.
I will
it's very good.
It
Georgia,
how many seasons is it?
This is the second season 3.
I'll have to watch the pilot.
It's actually not bad, man. I'm telling you, like for drama, like it's
all right.
Pretty good.
Get it. I'm in the middle of watching Daredevil, which I think is a great show. I'm going to be on season 4, and I'm just at the big ending of season 2, so I got about 14 more episodes to go. So I know you get caught up in a show. It's a great. That's any jerk off that says I don't binge those shows. You get caught in a show all day. You're like, can't wait to get in front of my TV late at night and watch a show. And then, have you ever done this where when you're behind on a show and it's like getting later and later and you keep on watching? Is that Chris Gucci editing the studio right there?
No. I added the studio. What?
Is Gucci just walking? I thought he walked.
No. I was just looking because the camera that I have here, the computer's on the other side of the room, so I'm just making sure the feed's good.
Well, listen, Dave, thank you very much. Oh, wait, real quick, your weekend, what happened over there?
It was great, man. Had a great weekend. I was one of the hosts.
Explain a little bit what the premiere and all that shit.
Yeah, so StarCast is basically the who's who. It's a big wrestling convention where they have stage shows and some of the legends will sit up there for an hour just to talk or maybe a live podcast.
But nobody actually wrestles. It's just like a convention.
No, but it is like a piggyback because they know that all Elite Wrestling, AEW, who's owned by Tony Khan, they had 3 nights of wrestling. Like Friday, they have their show that's pre-taped, but then Saturday is called a show called Collision. They were at the United Center for Chicago, and then they had a pay-per-view. So kind of people were getting their wrestling fix at night.
Is this WWE or nothing to do with that?
No.
I don't really know much about wrestling.
A lot of these guys that were there have had time in the WWE, like Jim Ross, which is like a legendary commentator, professional wrestling. He had his own stage show where he would tell stories of the past. And I was kind of like the in-between guy. Like in between the shows, they cut back to me on what was called a step and repeat, where it was like my own backdrop and me just getting the host and kind of recap what we just saw, what's coming up, blah, blah, blah. But it was very, very cool. Definitely one of the bigger things that I've done in my, professional broadcasting career. Very good audience, a lot of cool people, no bullshit. I will say the worst part about the entire weekend, for the first time in my life, I was selected by a dog to get searched on the way home. So
and Sturgio, what's the talking over?
Apparently,
hanging out with Barry Bonds.
So apparently, I was walking in a line with.
But you don't smoke weed, though.
I don't, and but the problem is on the last day, I left my bags because you have to check out at 11, and there's a whole nother day to go. So I actually left my bags in the production room. So I don't know what they were doing in the production room. So anyway, I'm online, and one guy goes to me. He goes, "Hey, sir, we're gonna have to, the dog picked up a scent on you. We're gonna have to search all your things." And they get to their mic, and they're like, "We got a POI, like a person of interest." I'm like, oh my fucking God, I'm gonna die. Like, this sucks. Like, I don't know what I did or what. So he's like, well, the good thing is you get to skip this line. And I was like, oh, good. You know, like, then I told him, I was like, he goes, there was a picked up a scent. I made a joke right away. I was like, listen, man, you don't understand. I was around like 1,000 wrestling fans and they all smell. You know what I mean? Like joking around. He's like, no, it's not that. And I was like, okay. And I was just like, geez, like, are they going to stick their whole hand up my ass? I don't know what they're about to do.
And Sergio wants to talk it over. And I'm like,
I'm so fucking nervous at this point. I'm like, my heart's racing, but at the same time, I'm like, I know for a fact that I've packed my own bags. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't have anything, all my extracurricular medications at home. Like I didn't bring anything with me. You know what I mean? Like, so
I get it.
I was
so scary though. Shit.
Dude. And they're like, okay, can you take your laptop out? We're going to have to swipe it. Bro, they put a thing in the side of my laptop and I saw like a screen pop. I was like, do they think I have like codes to like disarm the plane? Like this is insane to me.
So did they didn't download shit from your computer, did they?
I don't know what the fuck they did. I like I said, it was just a weird feeling. Weird. And they're like, have a good day. Like after they were done, they're like, have a good day, sir. I'm like, well, my shoes, you still have my shoes. Like, oh, and they like gutted my shoe. They took the insoles out. I was like, bro, like, and look, had I been a terrorist, good. You know, I got caught, extensive search, great. But for me to get picked out, and let's just be, I'm not going to call it how it is, but the person next to me looked a lot more suspect than me. You know what I mean? So come on, man. Like, this is kind of bullshit. But yeah, once they sent me on my way, I'm just kind of walking around. They didn't even pat me down. It was all about my my gear.
Do you think
weird?
Do you think it's they not only do they have the dog smell, but do you think it's also like every 28th person pull them?
Maybe, maybe because I like the guy's like, yeah, we got a scent on you.
Well, you know what?
Like,
a good friend of mine works for the what do you call it? The U.S. What do you call those guys?
TSA.
TSA. My good friend Bernie McCauley.
Get him on the show.
Who needs a 6XL shirt, by the way?
Oh, wow.
I got to see if we can order
that. So that scared the crap out of me. But the weekend was great. Premier Streaming Network is fantastic to me. I may have even picked up some more work for those guys. So it's
you know what would have been funny if I was doing traveling and somehow by accident my Derek May card was in my laundry and they said, sir, we our dogs picked up a Derek May card.
Yeah. Like I said, when he said scent, I'm like, oh my God, somebody did like, I don't even know. I could tell you right now, don't know if crack has a smell, but I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, there's somebody that cracked next to my room. Like, because weed would have been, you know, nobody gets in trouble for that anymore. So I'm like, oh my God, scent. Like,
that's crazy.
I'm like, bro, I showered today. I tried to make all these light jokes. And while they smirked.
No, you don't make jokes.
Yeah. And they're like, they smirked. They're like, right. And then I took out my phone and I showed my back of my phone has me and my son. So the guy's like, oh, he's like, oh, that's a cute kid. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm just trying to get back to my kids. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to get the fuck out of there as fast as I can.
Cut to you. This was in Chicago? O'Hare?
Yeah, in Chicago, O'Hare. Yeah.
Cut to
which is, by the way, the biggest airport I've ever been in my life.
Well, there's only one. They only have one for that area. So,
bro, they're like, oh, you have to go to like gate B something, and I'm in like terminal C. I'm like, all right,
it takes you 4 hours to get
there. I was like, and my feet are already hurting as is from the weekend, and they're like, oh, you got to rush this way. I'm like,
yeah, and you'll end up on all fours at the United Center.
I'm like, I really thought
cavity searched.
I thought like they were gonna like snap the glove, you know, like, all right, this will only be a minute, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Big story, Chop Sports Studios, Dave smuggling cocaine up his ass at the prime time premiere.
That's the one thing that I always pride myself on, or at least brag about. Like when my wife or anybody like that just asks, like, how'd the flight go? How was secure? I'm like, breeze. Always right through. Never had to wait for a second. Boom, boom, boom. I'm in and out. I'm on the plane. I'm off the plane. I got my luggage. Never lost luggage. Knock on wood. You know what I mean? Like never lost luggage. And I'm like, this one was the one where they were like, yes, sir, can you come here for a second? I was like, what?
Like, you got nervous me? Right away, right?
What about terrorist number 4 over here next?
You know what? You probably thought initially like, oh, maybe they recognize me for my work this weekend.
Sir, you did a fantastic job. Can we get an autograph and a picture? No, it was like, can we check your shit to make sure you're going to blow this place up? Like
Dave Sturchill looking to get his ego stroked at O'Hare, and all of a sudden he's on all fours here at Shea. All right. Well, listen, Rutgers going to beat Temple.
Let's do it. The Cowboys going to beat the Giants.
There you go. We will talk on. You will do the show Tuesday, especially if the Giants win.
I'll nut up. I got it.
And that's it. Hey, thanks everybody. We'll see you, and God bless America.
All right.